Hi folks, guess what time it is? It's review time! Review time! Review time! What up guys and girls, and welcome back to Run4Adventure. Before we get stuck into this review, I just thought I'd run you through how we're going to review products on Run4Adventure and how we're going to score products. So we're going to have 4 categories. Number 1 being price. Super important when it comes to our running shoes. We want them shoes to be good value, and if a shoe is expensive, that shoe better be pretty outstanding when it comes to the running. We're also going to talk about comfort and performance. So comfort and performance, again, super important in our shoes. We want that shoe to fit well, feel comfortable. We want it to be enjoyable when we're putting in our running mileage as well. Number 3 is going to be durability. Shoes have to hold up. We've seen a lot of shoes breaking down quite quickly lately, so we want them shoes to be durable. We want them to hold up to lots and lots of awesome running mileage. And last but not least, number 4 is going to be looks. Not top of the list, but it's still on the list. You know, shoes have to look good. We don't want to be running in some horrible monstrosity of a shoe. We've got to like the look of it. So number 4 is looks. So folks, I can hear you all sitting there in anticipation, wondering what's going to be the first piece of running kit we review on Run4Adventure. Well, let's put you out of your misery. It's going to be the new Saucony Ride ISO neutral road running shoe. Or if you're in America, the new Saucony Ride ISO. Let's talk about spec, baby. So let's talk spec, guys, of the new Saucony Ride ISO. So it's obviously a neutral shoe, a road running shoe. This is the 11th version of the shoe, so it's got some history. Had a lot of big updates in this model, so we're going to go through them updates. Still running off the same 8mm offset. It's running on a 27mm, 21mm stack height. It still carries the same Overrun top sole that the previous version had throughout the shoe. So things that have changed, and like I said, quite big changes in the shoe, in the upper and in the outsole and midsole. So first thing, the shoe is carrying the new ISOFIT upper, obviously. ISOFIT's used in lots of Saucony models throughout the range. This is the first time that the Saucony Ride has had that ISOFIT upper. So the fundamentals of that upper: it carries now a sock liner, so like a one-piece upper liner. It's got the ISO bands that pull in around the midfoot. So the whole theory behind that design of upper is to give you maybe a bit more of a specific hold in the shoe. And it's supposed to adapt a bit better to different foot shapes. So work better with a narrower foot or work well with a wider foot. So let's go through the weights of the shoes. So in a man's fit, the shoe comes in at 275 grams. And in a woman's fit, it's 241. So pretty reasonable weight for a good high volume mileage, soft, comfortable training road running shoe. Another thing to change in the Saucony Ride ISO compared to previous models is we've now got this form fit midsole. So again, quite a big change to the shoe from previous models. And what that's designed to do is maybe give you a bit more of a sculpted midfoot in the shoe. So maybe a bit more shape, and maybe feeling a bit more supportive through that arch and through that midfoot. Again, compared to previous models that maybe would have been a bit flatter through the arch of the shoe. And let's not forget one of the most important things, the price. The new Ride ISO RRP is $120. So let's move on to comfort and performance of the new Saucony Ride ISO. All in all, you know, it was a pretty good shoe to run in. I put about 50 or 60 miles into the shoe, so ideally I'd like to do more, but you know, with UTMB coming up, we haven't really had the time to get that road mileage in, having spent most of my time and training time on the trails. But over them miles that I've run in it, you know, all in all, pretty good shoe. What I did love is straight out the box comfort. I always love this in a shoe. It's what I look for in a shoe. You know, you've never had that shoe on your foot before. You slip it out of the box, you put it on your foot and it instantly feels comfortable. So I think a lot of that instant comfortability, is that a word? No. That instant comfort that I got out of the shoe, I believe, you know, a lot of it came down to the new ISO upper on the Ride shoe. I have to be honest, I've never really liked the ISO fit on any of the Saucony shoes before. I've always found it a bit bulky, a bit too much padding, a bit too much fabric, a bit too much of everything. You know, it's felt bulky and it's felt heavy and it's felt hot. I didn't get any of the above with this ISO fit on the Ride. You know, straight away, hugged my foot. Soon as I laced it up, these ISO bands pulled round that midfoot, holding me in place. And I felt really secure in the upper. I haven't got the widest foot in the world when it comes to foot width. And I think that the shoe and the width of the shoe works really well for that. Like I said, you feel really secure, really held in place around that midfoot using that ISO upper. The other thing that I think gave it a lot of comfort straight out of the box was the new form fit midsole. Again, a lot more of a sculpted midsole, a lot more shape, a lot more support than previous models. So I think the upper and the new midsole have been a massive improvement on this shoe, and I'm sure that's what made it feel pretty comfortable straight out of the box. So lots and lots of positives in the new Saucony Ride ISO as far as comfort, feel, fit. Midsole, really positive on all them new changes. I think they've done a really good job on that. There is a few things that maybe didn't work as well. So what I found was when I was ticking along on a nice steady pace, like I say, the shoe felt comfortable, felt well padded, well cushioned, and I felt really well held in the shoe. When I tried to push on a bit, maybe run a bit quicker, do a few speed sessions and tempo runs in it, I found that it didn't feel that responsive, which I was quite surprised at because, you know, looking at the shoe, that initial feel of the shoe, the weight of the shoe, 275 grams, not too heavy, I thought it would run a lot more responsive than it did, and it just felt a little bit flat when I tried to push on and run a bit quicker. Obviously, that could be down to the fact that I haven't put a massive amount of mileage into the shoe, and maybe that will improve over time, but I was a little bit disappointed when it came to trying to run a bit quicker in how the shoe performed. Not that responsive. You know, also talking about a shoe being responsive, you know, this shoe carries the Overrun top sole, so under the insole, on top of the midsole, you've got that layer of Overrun compound. Now, there's lots of claims made about Overrun, about, you know, returning energy to the runner. You know, I've got to be honest again, I didn't really feel that from that topsole, and I'm not sure how much energy a very thin topsole in a shoe can return to a runner, to be honest, but you know, it definitely added a bit of comfort. Did it return energy? I'm not so sure. If it did, I didn't feel it. It's crunch time, guys. Let's put some scores on the doors. So first category that comes up when we're scoring on Run4Adventure is price. Super important price. We want our shoes to be affordable, reasonably priced. And if the shoe is extremely expensive, then it better run flipping well. So for the Saucony Ride ISO, when it comes down to price, retails at 120. You know, in today's running shoe market, I suppose we could say 120 is a average kind of price. Crazy, but it's true. So 120, not a bad price for what you get out of the shoe. So we're going to give it a 7 out of 10 thumbs up on Run4Adventure. So next up is comfort and performance. You know, I said there's some things that I really liked about the shoe in feel, fit, comfort, and there were some things I didn't like when it came down to performance. You know, we want a shoe to feel comfortable. It's really important, but we need it to perform as well. So we're going to score the Saucony shoe a 7 out of 10 for comfort and performance. The shoe felt super comfy, fitted really good, and you know, with just a little bit more responsiveness, we could have maybe seen an 8 or a 9. So, you know, really good running shoe, super comfy. So third category on the list is durability. Got to be fair in this category. Obviously 50 or 60 miles isn't going to show us a lot when it comes to durability in a shoe, but what I must say is, after them 60 miles I've done in it, the shoe is holding up brilliantly. To be honest, it looks like it's just come out of the box. There's no sign of wear, there's no fatigue in the upper at the flex point of the shoe, the outsole, everything's still on it. I know it seems crazy to say, but I've had shoes that have started to show signs of wear after very, very little mileage. So 60 miles in it, the shoe's holding up really well. So for durability, we're going to give the Saucony Ride ISO a pretty strong 8 out of 10. And last but not least, when it comes to scoring, we're going to talk about the looks. Well, where do I start with the looks? Where do I start? It's not the prettiest shoe in the world, I must be honest. And I'm always going to be honest when we review product on Run4Adventure, and this is an ugly duckling. To start with, when it comes to looks, I think the colorway is different. Blue, white, and this pinky vizzy red, as Saucony call it, but it looks pretty pink to me on a man's shoe. Not that I don't, I'm a man, I can wear pink, that's great, but it's a funny color combination. And Saucony are doing some bonkers things with colorways at the moment. Color charting all their shoes. So basically in the men's range, most of their shoes will carry this blue and this vizzy red, which I don't think is a great color combination, to be honest. So not in love with the colors, and just the shoe in general looks a bit dated when you compare it to some of its competitors. The Brooks Ricochet, the Brooks Ghost, the Clifton 5, shoes that are looking pretty cool fabrics, cool colorways. I think this has been a little bit left behind. It looks a little bit like it's living in the 80s. We're going to be a bit harsh when it comes to looks of the Saucony Ride ISO, unfortunately, and it's going to get 5 thumbs out of 10. It's subjective. It's my personal take on the way the shoe looks and the colorway of the shoe. What I will say is I've seen the shoes for next season, and the colorways, in my eyes, are looking a damn sight stronger. So let's round up that scoring then, guys. So like I said, there's been some really positive things in this shoe, and some quite negative things as well. As a roundup on the shoe, I do a lot of my mileage in a much lighter and maybe more responsive and flexible shoe. So again, this is just my opinion on this shoe, and it is quite different to what I normally run in. So I think there's a lot of runners that would really benefit from the Saucony Ride ISO. If you're used to, quite a heavy neutral shoe for your running, 275 grams is a good weight for a high volume mileage training shoe. If you want, are you used to a more stripped back shoe, or you want to do speed work or track work or a race shoe, maybe this isn't the shoe for you, but as a good solid training shoe, I think it works really well. The fit, like I've said before, is really good. It's super comfy around that midfoot. But if you wanted something a bit more responsive, maybe the Saucony Breakthrough or the Saucony Kinvara would be a better option in that Saucony range. I think the positives just about outweigh the negatives, and you can see that in the scoring, So if we tally up the scores, folks, we're giving it a pretty strong 27 out of 40 on the Run4Adventure scale. It's a good all-round shoe, this, super comfy to run in. So folks, that's the Saucony Ride ISO. I hope you liked the review. We've gone into depth, but not too much into depth. We haven't gone all specky and scientific. Yeah, if you want to just check out a bit more info on the Saucony Ride ISO, then there's a link in the comments below. And also, guys, we'd love you to comment. Have you run in the shoe? Have you put hundreds of miles in the shoe? How's it feeling for you? Is it fitting well? Is it comfortable? Do you find it responsive? Any feedback would be really appreciated from you guys. So leave any comments down below. Hit that like button if you've liked the review. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. We're about to jet off to Chamonix to prepare for UTMB. We are super excited about it, and we're also excited that we're going to be doing some awesome content out there of training days. We're going to try and go up to some of the refuges and sleep up high to acclimatise to that altitude a bit better for the race. So please hit that subscribe. There's going to be some wicked content in an amazing place, amazing scenery, an amazing place to run. We're so lucky to be going out there. So if you want to keep up to date with all of that, like I say, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, stay safe and keep on running.